From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, sponsored by Ashley Regional Medical Center. Ron Stewart, the Outreach Manager for the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources, is here to talk to us today about the Kokanee Salmon Run at Sheep Creek. Now, this is a great event that happens every year. I've been up there many times myself. But let's start by talking to our viewers a little bit about what this thing is. What is the Kokanee Run?
Well, Chris, the Kokanee Run is an event that happens every year. We've got Kokanee in Flaming Gorge. They put the fish in there not too long after the dam was built. And the fish stay 4 years in the reservoir, and then they go up one of the streams. And the best stream for that is Sheep Creek, which is just this side of Manila on Highway 44. And they'll run up Sheep Creek in September, and then spawn up there, and then the salmon die, the parents die, and then the next year the young ones, the eggs hatch, they float downstream and go back into the reservoir, and so they start the 4-year cycle again.
The eggs actually stay there then?
Yeah, what the female will do is she will build a nest and she'll flip over on her side and then actually scoop it out with her tail. And she'll do it in a gravel bar, and the idea behind the gravel bar is the water comes down, hits the gravel itself, and flows through the gravel. So she'll dig a hole out there, lay eggs in it, and she can do this more than once, and then cover them back up. But before she covers them up, the males will come in and fertilize those eggs.
All right.
And then she'll cover them over and find another spot and do it again. And the males themselves are really quite unique, especially for kokanee, because they're bright red. And the males get this huge hump on them. And their teeth, just get these tremendous jaws. And you can actually see the teeth in those jaws. And that's designed basically for power. That big hump is just nothing but power.
Right,
and then the males fight with each other over who gets to fertilize the female's eggs. And they will follow the females around. They will chase everybody else away. It can really be quite a show when they're going on the spawning part.
I've been up there, and there's so many more than I ever imagined there would be. How do these females find room to make nests? Do they mess up each other's nests? Or
they can mess up each other's nests, actually, because they can get on a gravel bar, and if there's too many of them, then they'll start covering each other over.
Right.
Generally, though, it's not too much of a problem, especially with some place like Sheep Creek, because you got several miles there. And our runs used to be up around 4,000, but they haven't been doing that for the last few years.
What is it now?
Well, about a week ago, we had one.
Oh, well, that's easy to count.
I got a note that they checked it this weekend. I got a note on Monday morning, said there was now 169 in there.
Okay.
And so numbers are coming up. Exactly what they're going to be, I don't know. But the last few years, we've been somewhere between 500 and 1,000. And it basically goes back to some years before that when we lost all 4 runs all consecutively, from various events.
So it went way down, and now it's rebuilding.
Pretty much
again.
wiped out, yeah. And so they're starting to rebuild.
But there are other places that they do this.
Yeah, there are. We took eggs from the Sheep Creek Run, and we took them over to Strawberry. And so Strawberry Reservoir has actually helped the Sheep Creek Run now, because 4 years ago, they took some of the eggs from there, they hatched them out, and they put those back into Sheep Creek to try to increase the Sheep Creek Run. So, but up until then, they were at Strawberry, and they run up Indian Creek in Strawberry and also the Strawberry River. And so if you go over to Strawberry, you can see them again starting about the 1st of September and going for about a month and a half.
So if I was to drive up there and take a look, what might I expect to see? Well, someone who's never been up there before.
When you drive up, first of all, you're going to have a terrific drive. It's just gorgeous to drive
Beautiful
up there
scenic
in the spring,
drive.
Here in September. And then when you get there itself, there's a pull-out to the north of the creek, and you can go in there and park, and then you take the trail down, and the trail will put you on a bridge. And from the bridge, you can look down into the stream itself, and you can see several 100 yards or so of kokanee spawning there. And then basically it's just a great place to stop and look.
Maybe bring a little picnic and
a little
lunch up there and enjoy the surroundings. It's very well marked too, as I recall. There's signs that point to the Sheep Creek. It's a loop.
Sheep Creek itself is marked well, and there's also a geological loop. And that geological loop is only one of about 6 or 7 in the United States.
All of it's worth the drive to see.
It's absolutely incredible, the geology that's exposed right there. Just the whole mountain is twisted.
All right. Well, when we return, Ron will tell us about how the DWR harvests the eggs from the kokanee salmon, and we'll return after this word from Ashley Regional Medical Center.
Welcome to Ashley Regional Medical Center. We have just added another amazing new piece of technology to our radiology department. This is the new Infinia Hawkeye 4, the best nuclear medicine technology available, and the same you would find at tertiary hospitals along the Wasatch Front. This machine can help physicians determine both the nature and precise location of the disease by testing gallbladder function, performing cardiac perfusion studies, and diagnosing cancer. Ashley Regional Medical Center, continuing to bring the latest medical technology to northeastern Utah.
Welcome back. We're talking about the kokanee salmon run at Sheep Creek and how the DWR is keeping the kokanee numbers healthy in Flaming Gorge and around the state. Thanks again to Ron for joining us here.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, when we talk about the kokanee, are they actually salmon? Is it really a salmon?
They are salmon. They were, the kokanee salmon originally came from the West Coast, and they're sockeye salmon that got caught for one reason or another inside freshwater lakes, and so they learned to spawn from the freshwater lake to the tributaries of those lakes.
And are they edible?
Oh yeah, they're a great tasting fish. The ones that we have up there have the pink flesh, just like the ones off the coast. Absolutely incredible eating fish up there, and that's why we've got such a great fishery. Is a lot of people go up there specifically to catch those kokanee. So.
And how rare are they? I mean, are these things all over the country, or is this a kind of a local thing?
They're not rare. We've got them in Strawberry. Causey Reservoir has them. There's some in Moon Lake, which aren't real large, but they're there. We've also got them in Porcupine. There's like 5 or 6 lakes in Utah that have kokanee right now. And there's a list that, if everything kind of goes right, then they'll try to put them in some other lakes and things. Idaho has them scattered out throughout Idaho. There's some, I know, up in Wyoming and some of those lakes, and then also, of course, in the coastline, where they're natural, or they've moved them around over there. So.
Now, but if I can call them our kokanee, are they unique in any way?
Our kokanee are fairly unique. In fact, it's one of the very earliest runs, and I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but Sheep Creek runs in September, where most runs run November, December, so it's a very early run, which makes it a very valuable run in place if they want to put kokanee in and have them be able to spawn where they're not going to get frozen out on those later runs. Our run is also unique in another way, and this might have to do with some of the food and stuff that they eat, but the Sheep Creek early run is incredibly bright. I mean, the reds on those fish are pretty much unreal. In fact, we get people telling us when they see these fish and they see them stuffed or something like that, that we messed up on the color.
You've been messing with them somehow,
yeah,
enhancing.
We didn't do it in Photoshop. Those are the fish there, and actually a lot of the pictures that I've sent out, I've actually toned the color down because I know people aren't going to believe it when they see it.
How about that? And I noticed that you're in the Sheep Creek camp, right? You don't say it like the rest of the locals who are shouting at their screens right now, Crick. Do you say that, or did I coax you into Creek?
No, I believe in the creek part.
I'm with you there too, but that's okay. You know what we're talking about, creek, same thing. So
the crick is what happens to my back
after leaning over and looking at these things. All right, so they're pretty regular, right? You're going to be celebrating a specific kokanee day because they're pretty consistent.
Every year we do a kokanee day, and we have our biologists and myself up on the area there, right next to the bridge. It's a scenic byway pullout. And there's a nature trail there, and the bridge is right there. There's information signs on the bridge telling about kokanee, and then we will actually be there answering questions and stuff. And we do it every year on the closest Saturday to the 21st. And the 21st traditionally has been the peak of the run.
All right. Now this year that will be?
This year that will be the 18th.
18th. All right. And so you'll be up there that day. Or you have been, depending on when you're watching this show.
Yeah, we try to get up there and be there answering questions, all set up and everything by about 10 o'clock, and then we'll pull things down around 3.
Wow. So lots of people taking pictures and just enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a great kind of, bring your camera up there. I always also bring spotting scopes and stuff with me, and we see bighorn sheep fairly frequently.
Now, I was going to ask you next. There's more to see up there.
Yeah, there's a
than
lot
just
more.
the salmon.
Yeah, there's a lot more to see. One trip up there I did early, and I think I saw over 100 deer and elk on the way up. Wow. And we had bighorn sheep come into us. There was like 30 or 40 bighorn sheep that stayed with us about half of the day.
Is this a regular herd up there that just kind of hangs out in that
Sheep
area?
Creek itself has...
Thus the name, I guess. Sheep.
Has a herd there, you know, and some of them are kind of up above us, some are down below us. And almost always somebody can tell us where some of those are. Oh. And we can send people to those. We get sandhill cranes flying through. Last year we had a golden eagle watch us almost half the day.
Wow. I'm always amazed at the joy that comes from seeing an animal in the wild. I don't know how else to explain it, but it is quite joyful, isn't it?
It is.
I appreciate you coming here. And thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again right here on the next edition of Local Point.